gothic fantasy novel that in previous videos I've talked about how it's taken pretty heavy inspiration from Frankenstein, but now I'm coming up on draft 2.5. I would say that the inspiration has become a lot looser, and this is just kind of turning into its own sort of monster. I wrote the first draft in about 6 weeks, almost 2 years ago now, and I am a massive underwriter. I tend to just focus on dialogue and like really critical scenes in the first draft. It's almost like a really detailed outline. Once I was through with the first draft, it came to about 75,000 words, and now I'm expecting for it to shape out to be closer to 100,000. But when I finished it, I put it aside because I had just started a new job for like almost 8 months. And when I came back to it with fresh eyes, I realized that I needed to change the point of view, and I could make point of view work a lot harder for me by changing from third person limited to first person, because I'm drawing pretty heavily from a lot of horror tropes and mystery stuff. So this is one of my first big developmental edits where I'm really looking at plot and character and trying to get all of the kinks and stuff ironed out so that I can finally hand it over to some of my beta readers and get some feedback about how much of a dumpster fire this actually is. Each time that I start a new draft on a project, I just open up a whole new Scrivener file, and for each scene or chapter that I'm working on editing, I just move the parts that I really like into it, I block it out, and then I just fill in the gaps and work on it from there. So every morning I start by reading through the last scene that I edited, and sometimes I'm even referring back to these past drafts because I'm kind of messy. Today I am drafting a new scene that has been giving me a lot of trouble. So I'm kind of brainstorming and doing a little bit of research and checking some things, and I even tried outlining a little bit by hand just to get some of the juices flowing. I often find when something is just not working, it can be because I'm not considering the agendas or the wants and desires of like all of the other side characters. So it's just like one character executing an action or like their goals, and nobody is really being reactionary, and their responses are not really actively shaping the conflict. And I think that was part of my issue today, and I think I fixed it. Fingers crossed. And then I just sit there and type for like 2 or 3 hours every morning. On a drafting day, that can mean producing about 1,500 words to 2,000 words. That seems to be kind of my sweet spot. If I'm editing and a lot of it has been already written, then I can get through quite a bit sometimes, but it really depends on the state of things. And I'm heading towards the end of my manuscript that I haven't really taken a close look at since the first draft, and the state of things is pretty rough. It's pretty untidy, and there's a lot of work to be done in this last little section. And then sometimes in the afternoon or the evening, I will sit down and take a little bit of a brief look at where I'm going the next morning, so that when I'm first waking up, I've already kind of got a bit of an outline there. I know roughly what I want to do, and I just have to sit out and pump it out, just get it done. I think I really think about the act of writing as work and something that I have to just complete. The daydreaming and that first draft is telling myself the story, and I take a lot of pleasure in it. But revising is really tricky because when I'm drafting, this is just like the best, I love this. And then, you come back and you read it and you're like, this is a hot mess. What the hell is going on here? Nobody in their right mind would want to read what I have just done in my absolute mania of
an ego. I'm the queen of setting unrealistic goals, but I would absolutely love to be able to finish this. I won't do it by the end of the month. I want to say by the end of the month, but like by mid-April so that I can hand it over to beta readers. I think that's gonna be like a whole other video because I haven't really gotten feedback on my writing like this before. And it's something I'm really nervous about, but I'm also really excited about because this is something that I want to improve in and want to grow in just for myself, even if nothing ever gets published. I love creating stories and storytelling, and I love watching videos about people and their processes. I wish I had a fancy process that I could show you guys where I track things and have this like beautiful spread and like vision board and stuff. I have a Pinterest board and it's also a mess, and getting into things like tracking and making these beautiful books distracts me from the actual act of writing, and I will spend all day beautifying my tracking spreadsheet and do absolutely nothing of what I sat down to do. So that is really my process right now. It's just sitting down day after day, over and over again, hitting the keys on the keyboard, reading the absolute trash that I have written, and trying to make it better. So if you are a writer, I would love to hear what your process is like, if it is anything similar to mine or completely different. And if you're a reader, I hope you still enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will return again next week. Bye.